Okay, so today's lesson we're going to be doing plotting quadratics. So you've seen table of values before when we did the linear lines. To be honest, it's just a little bit harder because of the equation that we're going to be using today. So I'm going to show you two different ways. One, I'm just going to start with how we normally do it, where we just do it in our heads. There will be one difference to normal. So when we do the table of values, normally I say do 0, 1, 2, 3. We're going to change it today only because of the type of graph it is. So quadratics will look like a smiley face. It will look like this or it will look like that. Okay. If you just do the positive numbers, you don't necessarily see the curve that you should see. Okay, but if you do some negatives and some positives, then you should see it. So for this one, I'm going to do -2, -1, 0, 1 and 2. I need to make that a little bit longer. Okay, so when we do this, if you are going to use a calculator, that's absolutely fine. Just be careful, your calculator, as brilliant as they are, they can be a bit stupid. Right, so we're going to do -2 first. Now, if you are doing it on a calculator, when you do it, make sure you put the negatives in the brackets when you square them. Okay, the reason why is if you don't put the brackets, all the calculator does is squares the number and then adds a negative in front of it. Okay, if you put it in brackets, it then knows that you've got to do -2 squared, so -2 times -2, which then gives you the answer. So I'm going to do it in my head to start off with. So -2 squared would give us +4. +4 minus 4 would give us 0. Okay, again, I'll do the next one. I'll write it down, but then the rest we'll do in our heads. So -1 squared, and then we subtract 4 from it. So -1 squared is +1. +1 take away 4 would be -3. Cool, then we put 0 in. So 0 squared is just 0. 0 subtract 4 is -4. 1 squared is 1, take away 4 is -3. Now if you look at the numbers already, you should see a pattern. So we've got -3 and -3 here, we've got the -4 in the middle. Okay, the next one hopefully should be 0, but we will check just in case. So if we put 2 in, 2 squared is 4, 4 take away 4 is 0. Okay, so it's a good way just to check your answers. If there isn't a pattern at all, either one, you may have gone wrong, which is fine as long as you then fix it, or it might be that you've not done the right numbers to be able to see the pattern. Okay, because if you can't see a pattern, you're not going to see what the actual graph should look like. Okay, so once we've done that, we can plot them. So the first coordinate would be -2, 0, so -2, 0. The next one, -1, -3, so -1, -3. Next one, 0, -4, then 1 and -3, and then 2 and 0. Okay, you can do the next ones if you wanted. So if I quickly did that, it'll be 5. It'll be slightly off the graph anyway. Okay, and then we join them up. Now don't join it up with a ruler, just literally try and draw a nice curve going through them all. And it doesn't need to be perfect, just sort of try your best. Mine's not particularly great today. Okay, so that's the basics anyway of how to do a quadratic one. Now we're going to do one more. It's slightly harder just because obviously before we just had the x squared and then a number. I've now added an x in. I'm also going to show you how to do it on a calculator as well. Okay, this time, to be honest with these questions, they normally give you the numbers that you need to put in. So I'm going to give you -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. I could do 3, but I'm not going to fit it on my little table. Okay, so you can do it manually in your head. So I'll do the first one in my head, or I'll show you how to do it in your head, and then I'll show you how to do it properly on a calculator. So we've got -3 squared, because it says we've got to square whatever x is. Then we've got to add on whatever x is, so add -3, and then we take away 2. Now just be really careful with your signs at this point, okay? So -3 squared would give us +9. If we're adding a negative number, that means we just subtract it, so it'd be subtract 3. And then obviously we've still got the take away 2 on the end. And then we can work out what that is. So that take away 3 will give us 6. 6 take away 2 gives us 4. So the first one is going to be 4. Okay, so how to do it on a calculator. First thing you need to do is actually change the mode that the calculator's in. So if you click menu, now if you've got a different calculator, so if you've got a calculator that looks like this one, maybe not pink, if you click mode and then 3, that will be the table one, and you just do that. If you've got this one, again, just go to table, which is 3, and click equals. Okay, then it will say f of x. Now this is the bit where you've got to type in what our equation is. Okay, so if you're looking for x is on the bracket for me, and it's on the same with the other calculator, so you've got to click alpha, then the bracket, and that gives you an x, and then we make it x squared. Okay, then we need to plus another x on. There we go. And then we need to take away 2. Okay, so that function there on the calculator is the same as the one that's on here. And we just click equals. Okay, we don't need g of x, we can just leave that. If on the other one, it will just go to the next bit anyway. So start is the first number that's in the table. So we've started with -3. So we type -3 in. End one is 2, so I write 2 in. Now step is the number it's going up in, so we're going up in ones because we're going -3, -2, -1, so we can leave that as it is. And then it gives us the table. So these numbers here are the numbers that were in the table already. These are the numbers that we need to write in the table. So for example, we did the first one anyway, we got 4. And then we can just write the rest in. So for the next one, it says 0, then -2, then -2. You can just click down, 0 and 4. Okay, and again, if you can see, there's a pattern. So we don't have 1 in the middle this time. We've got 2, but then the next ones are the same, and then the next ones are the same. Okay, then we can plot it. So -3, 4. Is up here, -2, 0 on the axis, -1, -2, so it'll be down here, 0, -2, 1, 0, 2, 4, and again, connect the points like that. Okay, so either way, it doesn't matter whether you do it in your head or on a calculator, that's how you do these sorts of questions.